The witch hunts of medieval Europe represent a grim chapter in history, characterized by fear, superstition, and a tragic misunderstanding of human differences. For centuries, these witch hunts were driven by a combination of social, religious, and political factors that fueled mass hysteria and led to the persecution of countless innocent people. To understand the origins of these hunts, we must first explore the prevailing beliefs of the time. During the Middle Ages, Europe was a place of deep religious conviction. Christianity was omnipresent, and its teachings shaped every aspect of life. When things went awry, from failing crops to sudden illnesses, people sought explanations from their faith. Often, these were attributed to malevolent forces. Many believed that witches, in league with the devil, were responsible for bringing misfortune upon society. The first large-scale witch hunts began in the late 15th century, coinciding with the publication of Malleus Maleficarum, or The Hammer of Witches. Written in 1487 by Heinrich Kramer, a German clergyman, this book served as a guide on identifying, persecuting, and executing witches. Although the work was not officially sanctioned by the true church, it gained popularity and influenced legal proceedings across Europe. It propagated the idea that witches were not merely a threat to the church, but to the very fabric of society. One pivotal misconception was that the accused were often women, typically those who deviated from societal norms. Widows, herbalists, or women with knowledge of folk medicine were common targets. This focus on women, many of whom were marginalized, highlights the intersecting prejudices of the time. Nonetheless, men too faced accusations, especially if they were perceived as heretical or disruptive to the social order. The witch hunts peaked between the 16th and 17th centuries, with tens of thousands put on trial. Trials were often a spectacle, where accusations spiraled out of control. Accused witches faced unimaginable torture designed to extract confessions. Once declared guilty, the punishment was typically death, often by burning or hanging. These trials were less about justice and more about maintaining social order and quelling public fear. Several factors contributed to the decline of witch hunts. The Enlightenment era brought a shift towards reason and scientific thought, challenging superstitions that had dominated European thinking. Legal reforms gradually introduced due process, demanding evidence and fair trials, an untenable standard for witchcraft allegations. As societies evolved, so too did the recognition of the fundamental rights of individuals, ultimately leading to a cessation of these brutal hunts. Reflecting on the witch hunts of medieval Europe teaches us invaluable lessons about the dangers of fear, ignorance, and scapegoating. It reminds us that the persecution of marginalized groups often arises from irrational fears rather than rational thought. As we look back, it's crucial to remember these dark times not as relics of the past, but as cautionary tales that echo into the present, urging us towards understanding, compassion, and justice for all.